We are back. Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday, guys. If y'all not done so already, please make sure you hit that like button. If y'all not done so already, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right hand side. Remember to click all because we do go live each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you for tuning in to KL Culture Radio. Hakeem Jordan, what's going on? What is popping like? What is cracking like?
Maintaining, living the dream.
Hey man, I'm good over here, man. Nice weather over here in LA. It's a beautiful day, man. Let's go, let's get it.
All right, let's go ahead. Go ahead, Jordan, do your thing.
All right, let's go. Hey, just me out, man. Good to see you on the chat. He said, "Don't tell me what to do, Ronnie." Maybe it's on the other channel.
I'm just trying.
Ken Dog, man, what's good, man? Good to see you in the building. But let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. So we're gonna talk about I'll go into a little bit of politics, and we're gonna talk about the Supreme Court. As you guys has been known, especially on the chat, the Supreme Court has been some relevant news. First, the Supreme Court struck down affirmative action promulgated in college admissions, which they ruled, which the ruling was to 6-2, which caused universities to look for a different way to diversify their student bodies, meaning, Black and brown and other minorities. And then also, Supreme Court, we want to talk. Oh, shout out to Jabari too. He brought up about this topic as well. Shout out to Jabari.
Jabari, my brother from another mother.
Yes, sir. And also, the Supreme Court also did strike down Joe Biden's student loan forgiveness plan as well. So, all y'all who anticipate that y'all was gonna get your student loans forgiveness and y'all did an application, I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. I know some of you guys voted, one of the reasons y'all voted for him because of the student loan forgiveness plan that he said. Now, Supreme Court say, nope, that's not going to happen, because they going it's too much money to be, so Supreme Court is saying, hey, that's too much money we can't spend on student loan forgiveness. So, so they just saying that, hey, people, starting, I think, late August, they're going to start referring to the student loan payments because it's been, remember, it's been since 2020 when the pandemic happened that they paused student loans payments. Now it's going to run again back in August. So definitely going to get into these topics. If you guys are conservatives, liberals in the middle, how y'all feel, especially people on the chat. We're gonna really talk about this today. We have a couple videos we're gonna show you guys, and after that, we're gonna chop it up. Go ahead, Hakeem.
Definitely.
To that huge Supreme Court decision overturning decades of precedent on affirmative action in higher education. The majority ruled yesterday colleges and universities cannot consider race as a factor in admissions decisions. The ruling said affirmative action cannot be reconciled with the guarantees of the Equal Protection Clause of the U.S. Constitution. Ruth Simmons was the first Black president of an Ivy League school and is now a President's Distinguished Fellow at Rice University and a senior advisor to the president of Harvard University. She testified in Harvard's defense of affirmative action. Dr. Simmons, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us. Now, you argue that the ending of affirmative action won't make college admissions fairer. What do you think the impact of all of this will be?
Well, I think it simply means we'll get to work once again to try to deliver the justice that we've been seeking for a long time. Keep in mind that justices use their judgment. And we know from Plessy v. Ferguson, as well as many other cases before the Supreme Court, that their cases have sometimes their judgments have been overturned. So this is a long struggle, and we have to be in it for the length of the struggle, not because we are winning or losing at any given time.
Well, the supporters, Dr. Simmons, feel that right now we are losing. I think it would help if you would put in context what affirmative action really is. Some people think affirmative action means you're not qualified, but your race makes you qualified. When the reality, I think, is that you are qualified and race is just something that should be considered like you're an athlete or you play a musical instrument. So
Yeah.
when will we know? Yeah. Could you put it in context what it really means? And when will people think now is the time? Because the times we're living in right now doesn't seem like it is the time.
Well, I think, again, perhaps owing to my age, I take the long view here. And that means that affirmative action, as carried out by Harvard, was very much misunderstood, I think, by the justices. Harvard tries to bring shape a class, bring in many, many elements, one of which may have been race, but not ever the deciding factor. That is something that is the cause for the burnishing of the Harvard brand. Everybody wants to get into Harvard. Why? Because it has used this system of admission to judge people on the basis of everything they bring to the university. So that is something that I think Justice Roberts' remarks leaves room for, actually. People haven't paid much attention to that, but listen to what he said. He said that we should look at students based on their experiences as individuals. And what does he qualify as experiences? The challenges faced, the skills built, the lessons learned. So we're still able to consider a diversity of factors. And how do you erase a person's race? You can't. So I am not given to seeing this as being as detrimental as many.
So, Dr. Simmons, that's a great point. I was going to bring it up myself, and I think the follow-up naturally becomes, what is your advice? What's the practical takeaway for a 17-year-old thinking about applying to college next year after this ruling?
This is the single most important point for me, and that is we don't want young people to be discouraged by all of the storm and drang that they're hearing after this decision. We want them to continue to concentrate on their work hard in their courses, of course, but learn to become a total human being. Be involved in activities. Be involved in doing good for your community. Be involved in developing all of who you are as a human being. And admissions people will see that in addition to everything else you bring.
All right. Dr. Ruth Simmons, thank you very much. Prior president of 3 very different universities, the very top of your field. We couldn't get better perspective this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And, that Black women cannot accept more pain. You know what I mean? There's so many ways in which this reverberates. Please talk about them.
No, this clearly puts a dagger in the back of blacks, but it also has ramifications for women and others. And it can be used in other areas of American life. Because when you say it is unconstitutional now to consider race, well, will we be saying that in the private sector about jobs and about contracts and about board seats that many groups like mine fight for? I mean, they have in many ways said that you cannot consider race in America. And some will say, oh, they're just limiting it to academia. Well, anyone can then say, well, wait a minute, if it's unconstitutional, I can't do it in my business, I can't do it across the board. And how do you argue that when they have misconstrued the 14th Amendment, which was there for the opposite reason? The fact of the matter is that we are in a political court put there, a third of which was put there by Donald Trump, who said, make America great again. This is the Trump court that is trying to go back pre-Board of Education 1954, and that's where this ruling came down today. And the insult, to add insult to injury, to say, well, you can write about you're black, but you can't decide that I'm going to help you because you're black. That's just something I can sit in my comfortable chair and read about the misery you suffered. But I cannot say, because of the misery that was done by law. We must remember, Joy, that we were discriminated not by habit, not even by culture, by law. Rosa Parks was arrested. She wasn't sent to therapy. She broke the law. And they're saying by law you no longer have to consider this. And in fact, it is unconstitutional to even consider it when blacks are still 10% of white wealth in this country, when we across the board, the metrics speak for itself of the racial divide. That didn't happen because we were genetically inferior. That happened because the law made us less than equal citizens in this country.
And David, you know,
Thank you. Mr. President, why did you give millions of borrowers false hope? You've doubted your own authority here in the past.
I didn't give any false hope. The question was whether or not I would do even more than was requested. What I did, I thought was appropriate and was able to be done and would get done. I didn't give borrowers false hope, but the Republicans snatched away the hope that they were given, and it's real hope. Thank you.
Mr. President, when you canceled
your authority, did you overstep your authority?
I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution.
Mr. President, do you admit failure in Afghanistan? Mistakes. There was a report on Afghanistan withdrawal saying there was failure, mistakes. Do you admit there was mistakes during the withdrawal and before?
No, all the evidence is coming back there. Remember what I said about Afghanistan? I said Al-Qaeda would not be there. I said it wouldn't be there. I said we'd get help from the Taliban. What's happening now? What's going on? Read your press. I was right. Thanks.
So Joe was talking about, his talk about the student loans, how the Supreme Court, overruled his student loan forgiveness plan. So, like I said, guys, never gonna chop it up. So I'm gonna pass it to you guys, Ronnie. What do you think about the Supreme Court decisions about the student loan forgiveness and also the affirmative action?
Yeah, the situation that transpired with the affirmative action, I'm reading more about it now because I was actually confused about it. However, I don't think the affirmative action is actually a bad thing because now it's no longer put race as the main agenda for a lot of these students, especially college students. Because remember, a lot of these students, it was very hard for them to go to certain school because of quote unquote they're black or Latino. Now that's taken out of the way. Now it's based on the person's educational skills. Is he able, especially be going over there to play basketball or any form of sports? Now they be able to look at him or her for that, and not based on the color of your skin. Because a lot of schools, a lot of people have missed a lot of opportunity because of the simple fact of their last name being a quote unquote black name. So I know we're gonna go more in depth on that. Especially, I want to love to hear Hakeem take on the affirmative action part because I want to know more and more details about that. Now, when it comes to student loans, I already told these son of bitches don't believe the president. He's an idiot. Pretty much, he's the one that pretty much caused the student loan. People don't understand when he was governor, he was pushing for student. Like that's why I knew he was talking about get rid of student loan. I say people don't understand. He works for them. You think he gonna get rid of something that he works for? He worked for these student loans companies. That's why you guys are stuck with student loan. Now, would this affect a lot of the black community, especially black women? Yes, because they are the most enrolled in college. So now they're dead. Because people don't understand when you don't pay your student loan, now I go to the creditors, and guess what? Now I mess up your credit. Now you can't buy a home, or now you can't invest in your business because of quote unquote your credit's bad. So I don't know why people was hoping for thinking like the president was gonna actually get rid of student loan. I find that to be laughable because remember, at the end of the day, Democrats or Republican are the same. They work for each other. You think they're gonna lose money because people want student loan to be no. They gain a lot of interest, a lot of cash, and I'm sorry, but I knew that was happening. This don't really surprise me one bit. But go ahead, Hakeem.
Whew, man, this is a tough one, bro. It's hard to like because I have a unique perspective about it, and I want to try to touch it. But before I get into that, I want to say a prayer to a subscriber, a fellow person of ours who lost a family member. Shout outs to Gorilla Black. We're praying for you, praying for your family. I'm gonna cover you in the blood of Jesus. I don't want to go in depth. I just want to put a prayer out there. Shout outs to Gorilla Black. You don't know me, but shout outs to you. I'm gonna pray for you and your family in this tough time in need. May Jesus bless you and your family, okay? Now, oh man, Operation Varsity Blues is a scandal. Now, the college admission scandal that shook higher, did any of these kids get flagged? Yo, Mean Streets, you hit a lot of good points. Oh man, this shit is tough to answer, man. It's tough to answer. It's tough to answer because my dad always taught me that your work ethic is gonna get you to where you got to go. You feel me? Affirmative action was before my time, and my mother always taught me you got to put in the work. You'll get to where you at. So I'm not saying there's not certain instances where people are situations happen, because affirmative action not only deals with us, it deals with Asians and all other people.
Yeah, facts.
Jordan, you can answer this question. They're starting to say there's too many Asians going to UCLA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a fact. That's facts.
They say there's too many Nigerians going to Harvard. They starting to say there's too many Indians going to MIT.
Right.
So if you got the test grades to get to a person and you put in the work, my brother in 1980 something, when he graduated from high school, he had the highest score at SATs in Florida. He was recruited by every single school. Now that's a personal experience. I can't speak for the global, so I'm gonna just say that. So it's hard for me to answer that. You feel me? Now coming to the student loans, just hear me out. Say it. Gore spoke about this. For the love of Christ, we knew he was not going to do this. He is a politician. You're not going, if you can't get bipartisan on something dealing with money, especially dealing with Republicans, you just have to make it make sense. If you can't make it make sense, they're not going to pass it. Go ahead, brother.
For me, I'm gonna start affirmative action. It's a little bit tough, but I can, not putting a race into it. The thing is, it's like, I don't think it's not a bad thing, because especially in our community, especially our Black women, like I said, say yes. Oh, yes. I heard that the largest outcry from the action was from the Asian community saying they were being excluded. Yep, facts. Exactly.
Listen, Black kids can go to HBCUs.
Yes.
If you want, like
exactly.
The Asians, they complaining because here's the thing, not to cut you off. There's a lot of Asians. Here's a misconception a lot of people get. Not all Asians are smart. Not all Indians are smart. Some people want to use the fact that there's a large population going to a school. UCLA is considered Ivy League. So if their family say, if you can't get to UCLA, then that is, so they can use the fact that affirmative action, I'm Asian, can you let me in? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, exactly. So in our community, it's hard because I think it shouldn't affect us that much. And especially if you, like I say, if you go to high school, your SATs or ACTs, if you get a high score, and big schools will see that, from, Princeton to Yale, MIT. Like if they special, if they see something special in you, we got high scores, they want to accept you wherever, what race you are. You Black, Latino, Asian, whatever. They do that. And we see some of this on social media around when TikTok or Instagram, where people get accepted to certain colleges and because they got good test scores. And there, like I said, we have some child prodigies. I remember we did months ago, we did an episode about a young boy. He had good grades, and he got accepted to a whole bunch of colleges and everything. And to me, it's like, like I said, I don't think it's a bad thing. As long as your test scores is good and the schools are seeing that, they will accept you. And then I say for our community, if they don't, we, like I said, we have HBCUs we can go to. Even though some HBCUs don't have a lot of programs as PWIs do, I can say for our community, if we keep going and keep investing to our HBCUs and all that type of stuff. We can add programs to these schools, and of certain schools that PWIs have, that we can add that to their schools and everything. It might take time on that, but I think if certain schools want to accept you, especially in our community, they can accept you as well. And with the Asian community, to me they the most volatile about this, because here in America they don't have no type of Asian schools out here, it's they only got one.
I say not one.
Oh, not one. Yeah, not one and everything. And like I said, it's a lot. It's the Asian community is big over here in California, even though it's a small population. The Asian community is big in California. And the thing is, it's like, they feel affected. It's like, yo, if I can't see my schools that I want my kids to go to, or they want to go to, because Asian communities, they have a very, very strong culture, and they want to say, hey, we, like I said, they pass on generation to generation. Hey, we want to be doctors, dentists, lawyers, and all that type of things, and they feel some type of way. I wish we could have like somebody in the chat that's Asian, or somebody that can come and join the chat and talk about the problems they might, what they think about the problems they have, from the action. Now to the student loan payments. I'm not surprised, no shock. I talked to my wife about this. It's like, he's a politician. That's what they throw to you so you can vote. That's what they always do. So even though around this time when the pandemic happened and the student loan policies and everything, the thing is, to me, people, you have like 3 years to save to pay it off. Because I don't know why people think it's like Joe Biden's going to do it. Even say he's going to fight for it, which I don't think he's not going to do anything, because the Supreme Court, they made it ruling, and that's it right there. But yeah, people, for the student loans, you got to pay them, because Roddy said, because if you don't pay them, go to creditors, it's going to mess up your credit. You're not going to be able to apply for businesses, houses, car loans, either of that. So people, like I said, it's always right around the corner. So if I would advise you, start paying your student loans up. If you got 10,000 worth of that, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, you need to get onto like a plan to start paying it off. Okay, go ahead. What the checkout said?
No, I know you're gonna read the chat. Hold on, I want to get a shout out to Miss Mother, a new subscriber. Shout out to you, sweetheart. Thank you for coming over. I met her from another space, so she's over here. Shout out to her. And shout out to Mean Street. I ain't seen Mean Street in a very long time. So shout out to you and anybody that's here in the chat so far. Go ahead, Hakeem. Now you can read the comment.
Perfect. Hey, just hear me out. You're knocking them out the box. She said, once they let you the genie out the bottle, student for loan gives, you never undo that, right? And still always written in stone. You have to pay it back. Okay, another one said this is so true. There's so many colleges out here, community, state, liberal arts, Ivy League. The idea that someone cannot get into college is ridiculous. It might just not be the one or two schools, the choices that you have. I'm going to have to agree with him on this. I don't have the grades to go to Harvard. I went to a community college. I got my degree from a community college, which I've been able to resource. And then on top of that, who wants to amass this amount of debt? Okay. Jabari. Great topic, Jabari. I say this, the resources of HBCUs has gotten better. What different corporation funding these schools? I think in the next 10 years, HBCU was be in the same class as other Power 5, 100%. It starts to take people to start to fund these schools. 90%, 80% of a lot of these colleges, if they don't have state funds, which most colleges have state fund, a lot of these colleges have endowment. People who go to school don't bring money back, so that's why we don't have the programs that we needed. Just hear me out with another ballpark, a spoiler alert. The college you go to, the name of the institution on the degree, 98% of the time will make zero real-world difference in your career. You gotta go and finish it. That's it. I can't disagree with him.
Yeah, that was big facts right there.
I can't disagree with you. Just hear me out, for the love of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Because the simple fact of reforming or action. Remember, people was divided because based on quote unquote their race.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna actually be able to go to school because pretty much you qualified.
Yeah.
You got the skills, you got the you worked very hard in high school, so now you're able to go to these schools that you actually want to go to. Now, at the end of the day, will it hurt the HBCU? Of course, because affirmative action is now telling them, hey, you cannot accept this person because they quote unquote black. Go ahead.
Facts.
Jabari, you are right about this, and I want to comment because Jabari is right. Just hear me. Accreditation still matters. You can't get a degree at ITT Institute and think you're gonna go work at Google. You are 100% right. Let's take this into a matter. If you want to be a software engineer at Google, Microsoft, Apple, they might take in consideration you went to Princeton. Some of them, or Harvard, Yale, Dartmouth, UPenn. These are some of the Ivy League schools. But for somebody who's going to be a therapist or a teacher, and all you need is just a regular bachelor's degree, you can go online and get it, and you can go work at a high school or something like that. So I guess a lot of this depends on the person. Go ahead, brothers.
And I want to add this: is like the thing is like you can have a degree, you can have your degree in bachelor's, master, doctorate, whatever. But it's also a term of fact. It's also of who you know too. You know, also you know, working on your networking. You know, who's in your circle, who are you networking with? Because if you network very, very well, you know, a lot of people might not look at your degree, you know, they might see how your skills are as well. So if your skills are up to par, they'll look at that and say, hey, you know, apply here, you know, we'll interview you and we'll see what's up. Let's see you go with that, because I could say a lot of people, like say you mentioned these, you know, big companies, Google, you know, Apple, Tesla, you know, all these big companies. Some of these big companies, you know, they are in like a little are in a circle of people that network with. So if you know somebody, if you know a friend that works for Tesla, and you might not have a degree, and maybe you might want to be a janitor somewhere, that because you know all these big corporations have small jobs like janitors or typewriters, all that type of stuff. You know, if you have if you have a good circle like that, you know, they could put a good word for you, and you get an interview, and if you get a good word, then you get hired as well. And like I said, and my thing is, it's like if colleges don't work for you, you know, there's other options. There's the military, and also there's trade jobs that might pay very well too. And you know, there's other options that's out there too, because of the affirmative action might hurt, you know, certain type of races. Go ahead, fellas.
I want to talk about this student loan real quick. Okay, the student loan. This is the thing. A lot of people was hoping for that student loan forgiveness. That means a quarter of a period of this year alone, people have not paid their student loans. So to me, the president have a lot of accountability and a lot of talking he needs to do, because at the same time, the people are going to be in the uproar because a lot of people have not paid their student loan for a very period of time. So I don't know what Biden's going to do. I don't know what type of talk he's going to do, because at the same time, people was very, very hoping for the student loan forgiveness. Go ahead, Akin.
You're right, and you know me, just like all of us, we all have student loans, and getting them waived would have put us on another level. You know what I'm trying to say, and would have put us a leg up financially. But then I think that I do believe maybe something will work, but I flat out knew that it was not going to work with this guy. I knew it wasn't going to work with Obama. Finance is a complex situation. A lot of people got to understand something. Where the money's coming from? Where are we going to pay that? Are we going to up people taxes? This is where people got. It's the same thing with healthcare, and it's the same thing with Medicaid. A lot of this stuff is funded through taxes.
Exactly.
And a lot of people are not going to sign on the dotted line and say, yes, you can raise my taxes or lower my income tax return to pay for $1 trillion worth of student loan debts. No, they're not going to do that, because they say, you know what I mean, people forget America's a corporation. We run off of money. We're not like other places. You know what I mean? Right. Companies, corporations have built this country, and it's going to always flourish. That's why we have jobs, and that's why I have this. So, you know what I mean, this is more complex than what people fair to say figure it out. Go ahead.
Yeah, you were Hakeem. Jabari said not just one or two schools, just the Power 5 schools. Remember the resources that those schools have. Some what is that? I'm sorry, I can't see.
Surmount what yet.
So some community colleges and technical institutions can offer. There you go.
Yes. Networking takes you far. Now, Sherry Bryant said earlier, how you doing today, Queen? She said, as an engineer, it does matter. Community, computer science and stuff like that. There's certain positions where if you're not in Harvard, they're not going to hire you. If you didn't come from Yale, they're not going to hire you. And I guess that it does make sense for that. But then I say that, oh man, this is real tough, man. We're in a different space and time. And I understand that people might have certain dreams and stuff like that. And they might want to look at it from a different perspective of, hey, you should I don't want to say the wrong thing. It wasn't for affirmative action, the workforce wouldn't be diverse as the place to work in is today. I agree with you, Mean Streets. Mean Streets, I'm not disagreeing with you. I think that I'm in a place right now where I think, you know what I mean, and this goes for, I think a lot of us is getting participation awards. And mind you, here's the thing. A lot of this conversation is above me, to be honest with you. I guess I don't want to seem like I'm not support because I know the history, but I'm ingrained in a different sense. And if somebody didn't want me to work there, I say, F it, I'm just going to go make my own job. But I know a lot of people are not like that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's facts. And the thing is, like I said, if you're not happy with what the United States is doing, like I said, it's not just colleges here in the United States. It's colleges in Europe. It's colleges in Australia and other continents as well. You know, I know there's some colleges in some countries in Europe that will you know that have like free tuition, and they will accept international people and they'll pay for your free tuition and room and board and everything. So, for me, it's like, I mean, I really can't, name any, top schools in New York. I have to do some more information about that. But yeah, like I said, if you don't like what's happening in the United States, there's colleges that will, in other countries that will accept you. And, they will pay you a free tuition and everything like that.
No, y'all do. Y'all make a very good point. Sorry about that. This family texting me and stuff. No, I'm saying y'all make a very, very, very good point. Now, when it comes to like I said, the affirmative action, remember the whole problem was like pretty much black always kept saying, and Spanish as well, that how it never been enough opportunity for us to go to these pretty much Ivy League school because of quote unquote our skin tone. However, now since the affirmative action has been taken away, it should now be easier for other races of people to go to these schools. We're not having that issue of worrying about, it's my skin. It's because of my skin I got into school, or because I'm black, I'm not able to go to school. So I think it will kind of ease the student for the next generation. That was, I don't understand why people are so upset about it. I think it's actually a good thing because now you allow other people to go to these Ivy League school with the school they truly desire to go to. Mm-hmm. Now, when it comes to the aspect of the student loan, because now the student loan is not forgiven, a lot of people are going to continue to have it's just the debt ceiling in the United States is not going to increase even more. Because now remember, one thing they always preach about us, especially in high school and middle school and also elementary school, you got to go to college. 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 Okay, now we're going to college, but now we're walking out of there with like a house payment. Mm-hmm. Think about it.
And then also some of these people that go to colleges, they take certain degrees. Let's talk about people that go into tech to get degrees in tech. Tech is falling, and it's continuing to fall. I read an article that between 2002, the beginning of 2022 and 2023, it's been $150,000 job loss from tech. And there's some people I know here in my apartment complex who's in tech that, one, he has been, people that they've been unemployed for a little bit because, techs and everything, because the AI is coming up. And, and sometimes people, they taking these, schools are pushing college, but they don't teach you what type of degree to what type of degree to get in order to make, have a good career on a long-term basis and everything. So for that, for what I'm trying to say is that, there's other options other than colleges. There's trade schools and also military, and then also, if you don't want to do none of that, just work a regular job, maybe get a job, on one job, a second job, build your money up, build your credit up, and then if you want to open up like a small business or something like that, I advise people to do that as well.
Both of my brothers are saying some real powerful things. Like, as college debt is getting at higher amounts now, like, who even wants to take on that burden of debt unless you're going to a specialized skill? But I also want to talk about that, tech is falling right now. Layoffs is crazy. He's in California. He could tell you there's news every day. They're laying down tens of thousands of people. Facebook, Google, Meta, the Metaverse project has failed. They have failed. They hired a slew of engineers, and then a lot of these guys are dead. But I also want to go back to the thing that we're in a different space and time right now, where, like, in that a lot of people are getting indoors where they're not supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? And, the hope, work ethic does play a big part, but I'm not saying, like, now don't get me wrong. If somebody is dreaming to go to a certain place and you want to do that, and the work ethic has to be a factor. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. And to me, I think with affirmative action, I think it'll definitely affect the immigrants that's coming from a different country, from South America, from Africa, or from India or Asians comes, which they'll come, to start fresh, in the United States and America. And then now affirmative action that they call to that, they go, they probably can't get to, if they don't have the grades to get them there, to certain schools, especially out of these schools, they feel like the college is going to say, we're not going to do that. We're not going to look at that no more. And, especially for the immigrants, they probably have a lot to say about this.
You're right. And listen, the Asians are the one who's crying about it. You heard what the lady said in the beginning. I'm not going to tell nobody. And she was there at the ruling of this. That's how old she is. She said, I want students to work hard and do what they're doing. This is a black woman talking about. But listen here. We're having a real serious conversation. Majority black women go to college. Listen, a lot of men in the United States go into trades. Let's just get that. Or work regular jobs. Let's just get that. There's a percentage of people who goes to college for higher degrees. And if you're trying to be like a neosurgeon or something like that, and you got the skills, you're going to get there. What about that football player who is a neosurgeon? Rowe, whatever his name is, he's from Florida.
Ooh, I can't remember, but I know you're talking about.
You know what I mean? And what about the guy who, you know what I mean? So there's so many examples of what we have. I don't think it's not going to be too much of an issue. I think that we're in a different space and time that an issue in. And if there's a problem, just go create your own industry. And I know a lot of people say, oh, this and that. I wanted to bring this in effect. There's certain countries where you can't even go to school. There's no such thing as going to school in certain countries. In Germany, they make you take a standardized test in college, in high school, and wherever your score is at, that's what you're going to do as a trade. Go look it up. Not saying that you can't go do anything else, but they make every high school student take a trade. This is why you have a lot of them who go work at the Mercedes and the BMW plant. Oh, you know what I mean? Your scores fall in this point. You're going to go here. Here we can pick and choose and go where we want. And a lot of people have done crazy things when they hustle. You know what I mean? A lot of people have got into Harvard. Sometimes it takes a little bit more. You know what I mean? If somebody has a prestige and stuff like that, that's it. I'm not going to cry. You know what I'm saying? I'm only speaking for personally me. You know what I mean? I wanted to go to University of Miami. I didn't have the grades for that. I was gooking. But I don't want University of Miami let me in just because of this.
I ain't know you wanted to go to University of Miami. Wow,
I did too. I did too. Before I went to Johnson and Wells, I want to go to University of Miami too.
Listen, that was
really.
That was my listen.
The
listen, that was my dream. Listen, I went to Miami Jackson Senior High School. I played football. I wanted to play for University of Miami. I
Hakeem.
Wow, I never knew that. Wow, that's I know something new every day about
Hurricanes, baby.
I wanted to play, but then when I seen what the requirement was, and I was in school, man, like, and this is nothing to be ashamed about. I had under a 2 point something.
Hey, Hakeem, I feel you too. Like, 'cause I remember the people from Miami, they came to Michigan, and I was like, let me go. They had like a open house. He talked about the university, and at the time, like I had like a 2.9 GPA, and they went like what, a 3.5 and up. I'm like, shit.
Yeah,
I gotta look at another school.
I gotta look at another school
at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'll look at stuff. And I mean, it was a nice ride, but maybe if I had kids, maybe they have the good GPA. Maybe they can go to University of Miami or University of Michigan or HBCU.
And like that shit. But you know what I'm saying? I did go to college and I'm going to continue to go, but there's other opportunities. I went to a community college where I did very well. You feel me? And go ahead.
But I want to ask you guys a question on the panel. So are you guys for or against affirmative action?
Right now for me, especially it's 2020, 2023. Damn, that's hard. How you feeling, Hakeem?
It's tough for me to answer that though, man, because
in our community, especially our black women, they get degrees left and right.
They're not even playing. They're not even
right.
playing.
They're not playing.
You know what I mean? When I got out of school, I went and got a truck driver's license. I didn't go to community college till later. So that college was not even on my mind. So I think it's only going to affect people who wants to go to those Power 5 schools.
Yeah, or Ivy League.
Probably, and even if that, like how many applicants, I know our beloved Asians are having an issue with it because they've been talking about slowing them down from being so many, you know what I mean? Because they damn near run UCLA.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of them was like, hey, it's 1,000 of y'all applications compared to a lot of these other people. I ain't trying to go to UCLA.
Right.
I'm not trying to go to UPenn, Dartmouth,
right.
Exeter, or none of that shit.
Right. And the thing is, USC is right. It's like it's on the other side of town, which I'm close to. I'm like 10 minutes away. But the thing is, USC. A lot of people don't want to go USC, especially the Asian, because it's technically in South Central.
But it still is. How many people who probably went there done great things with it? And look, Sherry Bryan said, with or without it, you still gonna rise.
Yeah.
Bro, there's people who's went to mediocre schools who are CEOs of companies.
Facts.
Mediocre schools. Let's not forget Dave, who owned Wendy's, did not graduate from high school. The guy who owned Kentucky Fried Chicken, who started Kentucky Fried Chicken in his late years at 60 and started a multi-billion-dollar company.
There you go.
The fact is, we're in America. There's so many opportunities, and I think that, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many options to do different things. And if not, you break the door down or create your own door. You know what I'm saying?
And not that, but I'm going to ask you guys another question too. Do you guys think just because they get rid of affirmative action, will black people still find some way to make some form of excuses for their government now allowing them to go to certain schools? Go ahead.
Some will, of course. Especially if they want to go to these big schools, University of Michigan or University of Carolina, or University of Miami, to the Ivy Leagues, to the MITs or Harvard or Princeton. There will be some who will be some speaking of that. But my thing is, if that's the work to work out, we always got HBCUs. And then my thing is, if that don't work right, you go to HBCU, you get your degree there. Even though you might not go to these top corporations that might accept you because you don't have like the Ivy League diplomas and everything, or doctorates or masters. To me, all I'm trying to say, you could build your own little business, build it from scratch, and and that will help out your community, and you can pass it on for generation. Go ahead, King.
I'm gonna just say this: it all based on the individual. My dad always told me. My dad came here on a boat, bro. My dad came here on the boat. and was locked up in INS jail for 3 years before they let him out. Like, miracles happen. So he always taught me, everything in this world, you're going to have to work with it. There's adversities everywhere you go. And if you want to cry or pout about it, he told me, there's nothing I can't do for you. I can only show you how to work. I can't make other people do this. If you want something, go and get it. I've never not been able to get money. I've never not been able to get money. I understand people's flight and every stuff like that. My parents are immigrants. My parents' first language is not English. They've been able to done very well. I thank America every day for that. I come from a country that has nothing. They have provided free schools. I went to high school for free. I went to college for damn near free. I had free lunch. There's people at home, we have to send money to go to school. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I've been given everything free here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So when I went to trucking school, I went there for free through the workforce center. I walked in one day, they said, hey, you want to go to school for free? Sign here. They paid for it. I didn't want to go to Harvard. Did I want to go to the Harvard of trucking schools? Or do I want to go to the Harvard of this? I wasn't worrying about that. I was trying to eat. So I think it's all everybody's expectations. I think, thank America every day. Thank America. My mother was able to buy a house. My dad worked for the city. He had got a CDL. I don't know what to say. I think it's based on people. It hurts me to want to come at this from a conservative perspective to a person who comes from a place that don't have nothing. And I come here and I'm saying this to say this as an homage, as a thank you. You know what I mean? And a lot of us consider we come from nothing. America has done too much for me, and still doing too much. Go ahead.
Yes, I agree with you. 100%. Hakeem. With me, living in 3 different states: Michigan, Miami, Michigan, Florida, and California. And I just say this, I can speak for my wife as well. If you if you win a workplace, if you're very professional, if you got a good skill set, and then you are networking with people, and maybe you got a little bit of leadership too, they're gonna pay you. Unless the manager's an asshole, you can transfer anything. But usually, like I said, if you got a good skill set, you're very professional, you network, you should be good. Don't matter what state you in. If you in a poor state in Mississippi or to the most expensive state here, I'm in California. Like I said, me and my wife, we have a good life. Our household, in our household, we make over $100K. Me, her, and together. And I never expected that we was gonna make $100K in Los Angeles so quickly at the time. But for me, it's like I said, anywhere you live at. As long as if like I said, you work with an employer or you have your own business and you got those good qualities, you're gonna be okay.
I want to state something. Everybody's success looks different here in America. Now, me personally, I know people personally who has been successful in their own level. I want to take Ronnie here for an example. He became a manager. I want to take one of Ronnie's brothers, 2 of Ronnie's brothers. One brother went to ITT Tech. You feel me? And he studied computers. He works for a bank now doing IT. His other brother got promoted at his other job. They made him Employee of the Year. You know what I'm saying? My brother's a nurse. His wife is a nurse. My sister works for the fire department. So everybody's success is different. So I think when we start to look at it as if this is going to stop people from success, who's striving and who wanting to get there? And I don't want to be insensitive about other people's flight. And I know people's flight might be a little bit different. I can speak on this to a person who says that my dad was locked up in jail and he made something of himself, and America has gave him a second chance. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, and we're seeing success every day, but it all depends on how you quantify your successes. You feel me? if you're the best boat builder. I have another cousin who works for a boat manufacturer. He said, I ain't going to school. He wanted to learn how to build boats. He doesn't have a degree. So I understand that. I guess this is going to affect the people who it might affect if they wanted a more easier way to get in college. And I don't want to say that. Mean Streets, I didn't say that. I didn't say easy, because you do have some points there. I just think that I guess it all depends on how we look at it. Go ahead.
No, that makes sense though. Hakeem and Jordan, y'all breaking things down. So I'm just, but what's going through my mind, because I'm concerned about the American people, because the simple fact of the student no longer being forgiven, and not only that, you kind of going to discourage a lot of people now from going to college this upcoming, pretty much this upcoming fall, because now they be like, oh, should I even go to college? Because now my student loan forgiveness, now I got to pay like 6 figures. I would say Biden have a lot of explaining to do. Go ahead, Jordan.
Yeah, and that right there is it's going to turn. I can't wait for the next year election, because this next year election it's going to be something.
Oh my God.
It's going to be something. Because like I said, Joe is losing, like every year he's been losing a lot of voters, and with the student loans not being forgiven, he's not doing it. Please, come on now. Oh, Sugar Bum said, I'm in Miami for the 4th. Just hear me.
Oh, yeah?
She's in Miami.
Hey, Sugar Bum, you might want to retract what you say, because this man be on boats. Let's get something straight, Sugar Bum.
Yes. Like just hear me out for real.
He be on boats. And he be on boats. Like, he be on boats.
Yeah. Sherry Bryan says,
yes,
networking.
No, yeah, Sugar. Just hear me, I'll be on yachts. Hey, look, you sound broke. Yeah.
He broke. You're not broke, brother. Listen, it's because of him. I want to get me a power catamaran. I want to get me a boat so I can travel to Bimini. Boris says, Jordan, haven't been back in LA in over 7 years. I'm here for a few days for work. Any recommendations for a restaurant?
Oh, cool. Let me know what type of food you like. Give me, and I might name a little something. Just type in what type of food you like, and I put it in the chat.
Sherry Bryan been saying, listen, Sherry, I apologize, because she's been saying this through the whole chat, and we haven't even mentioned it. Networking got me far. I have connections across the world. My talk game ain't no joke. I talk to all the CEOs. Sometimes, can I tell you something? Just hear me out, said it, and again, I want to conclude this. He said, sometimes it doesn't matter if you finish or not. Who you know gets you where you got to go. And I'm going to be honest with you. Ronnie's a better networking than me. I have poor networking skills. I'm going to be a man. That's something that I have to work on. Ronnie, let's get something straight. You're the networking king. You're the networking king. And listen, Sherry Bryant, I might have to take a class from you to learn, and you and Ronnie on networking, because I don't have no networking skill at all. I'm antisocial like a mother. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ronnie is very well with my networking skills. Yeah. Well, me, it's like I try to network as much as I can, but the thing is, I work overnight, and sometimes there's certain days when I'm off, I want to stay in, but there may sometimes, like I say, it's my wife, because my wife, she knows everything, like everything's going on at the night around the city. So she said, hey, babe, let's go out, let's network a little bit. There's a good place to network. It's like, okay, cool. If I'm off that night, I'll try to go at network. So for me, it's like my schedule is kind of weird, but if, like I said, because of overnight. But for me, if it comes to networking, like I said, I'm on it, bro. This man right here, Ronnie, that man is a big networker.
Yeah, he's a networker.
I don't appreciate it, man. You guys making me blush. But what I was saying, I learned from Sugar Bum, because Sugar Bum said she see dollar signs, so I see dollar signs.
No, definitely. And listen, this is where we start to talk about this, and we understand where you lack and where you meet. You know what I mean? Skill sets. Skill sets get you where you got to go. And you know what I'm trying to say? Networking, skill sets, putting in work. I think that we're in a different space and time. I'm not saying everything is perfect, I'm just saying I think it's a lot better than before, and I think that we're coming into a space where everybody can win. Like, for God's sakes, look at this YouTube thing. A lot of people are in this YouTube thing becoming millionaires and creating jobs for people. I wonder if any of them is worrying about colleges and stuff like that. How many YouTubers, you know what I mean? Like, there's guys who I admire, I listen to on YouTube, and I'm like, yo, this guy's really kicking it. I'm not looking at them and say, I need affirmative action to get 30,000 views. You know what I mean? But and I'm just playing around with that. But I just say that I pray that things can go well and we can all get into a certain space. You know what I mean?
Nah, I'm just saying what's called is funny, man. Sugar funny, man. Hey, Jabari ain't shit either, man.
He says, Hakeem, I think I got it backwards. I'm saying finishing or not is usually the only thing that matters. Yeah, it's one thing I look at on every resume. Did they go to school and finish? Yeah. Yeah, you got to point that was too. Yeah. Sometimes you could have a degree. And listen, there's a statistic that says 85% or maybe 70% of people who go to school for a particular subject do not even work in that field they went to school for.
Yeah. No, because Sugar said she coming to Miami. I'm just shocked.
Sugar, if you come into Miami, reveal yourself. We'll take you to Benihana's.
There you go.
Hey, listen, me and Roni will split the tab to Benihana's. If that's not that, we'll take you to Seasons 52.
Mm-hmm.
If you willing to,
yeah.
Nah, I ain't spending the time with Sugar. Sugar gonna spend the time with me. She don't need the money.
No, she would probably want to go like somewhere like Sexy Fix or something like that, or Noble, something like that. Yeah, something like that.
Or maybe Pink or something, or maybe Shake Shack.
Yeah.
Sugar sound like a Shake Shack type person.
Yeah.
Shake Shack.
No, Sugar right now she's worrying about Sexy Red because they threw paper at her on the stage. I don't know if y'all heard about that. Cause I know this is downtime, so yeah.
Booty hole brown.
Boy,
they should have thrown more than that at her too. With that,
she want to go to the strip club. So she want to go to Miami Gardens.
Yeah,
pretty much. You want to go to Miami Gardens.
She want to get mad after somebody is clowning her ass for that dumbass.
Yo, but at the end of the day, I know we were about to end so these people could enjoy their 4th of July weekend. So, guys, what's your final thought about everything, affirmative action, and also student loan forgiveness?
Our people biggest problem is horrible resumes. They just they are just thrown in the garbage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She's telling the truth.
And the thing is, it's like we have so much information online where you can to make a resume too. So that I don't get why.
Let's even talk about this: gaps in the resume. If you haven't been consistently working, somebody's not going to want to give you a job. They say that you don't have a good work ethic.
I don't know, but the job first now are changing now. A lot of people now are getting accepted without resumes now. Because they're not enough employees. Some people still working out. Some people still have not gone back to work.
Sherry Bryan said, "I throw them in the garbage."
And I don't know, y'all saw like right now they actually protesting AI right now because AI have now taken over Hollywood. So now a lot of Hollywood writers is without a job.
Yeah, they striking. Yeah, ironic. They are striking, man, out here like crazy.
Hey, I feel for them, man. I feel for them. A lot of people are maybe not what you call that resourceful. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna get mine. I'm gonna get mine regardless. If it's off the
but think about it. But you hurt the economy. Think about it. If AI taking completely over, then there won't be no people filling up the workforce. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna cripple the economy.
But look at it from this point. Companies got to save money. The biggest expense at a job is payroll. This is why I was laughing when people say they wanted to get paid $15 to work at Burger King. I thought that was absurd. That means look how expensive it costs to go to McDonald's now. It's expensive as hell.
Exactly.
Because they're paying them $14.
Right.
People say, why are we going? To
Right.
get a meal damn near $50 now.
Right, and the thing is, we're not talking about $50 here in New York or LA because we can do it here because of high cost and expensive. But if we talk about $50 in small cities and small towns, no way. Too much of a payroll. Too much of a payroll.
Too much. So when people be asking for mediocre jobs, so you know what the people say, the company saying, okay, you don't want to do this, we'll get an AI to do it for you. This is where now. Listen, AI work would be cheaper to outsource workers. Hey, listen, I want to come close and tell you this. You know who's going to get affected by AI? Web developers.
Yep.
We don't need y'all to code anymore. What you going to do now? You're going to have to keep evolving. This is why I say I feel sorry. And listen, I'm a foreigner. Let me correct myself. I'm born here. But it's going to be harder now for immigrants to come and keep up with the advancement of technology. Yep. If you don't even know how to work a computer now, it's an issue. Listen, you got to fill out everything on your phone now. They're going to do e-sign.
Yeah.
Hey, did you fill out the application? Let's go back to what Sherry and them telling you. Can you make a resume? Yeah. Can you make a simple resume on Google Docs
and send it through email? And like I said, all this stuff is going through email. Like I said, a lot of these places are going to email. I remember when I first worked at Whole Foods and everything, fill out the application online. Now how Whole Foods is doing it now, it's like the application is just totally different.
It's streamlined.
It's like now I'm looking at but the last time I looked at it was like a personality test. Like personality test, what?
For real. and listen, and Sherry and whatchamacallit, a lot of the resumes are running on ATS scan system. If your resume is messed up and this and that, here's a funny thing too. That I just have to say this, and there's a bigger issue here. When we come to this and that, like you're going to have to working Excel now. If you come to a job, certain jobs expect you to know how to work Excel, PowerPoint. That's a standard. Hey, listen, you have to be able to write a simple report. Like even truck drivers have to be able to write a simple report. Take a picture, scan it, send it on their phone. Some people can't even do that. Excel is typical now. People say, "Hey, do you know how to work Excel?" Simple jobs.
Excel's more of a mandatory thing now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How I'm gonna tell somebody who just got here and say, we need you to catalog how many people came in here through Excel, add and subtract that for us, and run this through it. Matter of fact, do you know how to work Python? Python will do that for you. We're talking about what I'm just saying. These kids are learning this in school now. Kids who are graduating high school can learn how to work Python, HTML. And these are like simple stuff that is difficult for people who come. So I don't know what to say, man.
And you're right about that, King.
Yeah.
Like I say, being a different generation, everything's just changing. You just got to follow the trend. If you don't follow the trend, you're gonna get left out.
We're not in it. Listen, and I'm gonna have to say this. It says, "Oh Lord, yes, people who don't know Excel, people who don't know Excel, they are so far behind." JavaScript. I didn't even get into that. That's typical now too. Listen,
yeah, it is.
That's typical now too. I'm not going to even get into the whole data analyst thing. That's starting to be a standard job now.
Yep.
There's data analysts in everything now.
They doing that right now in my job, so I know that to be true. Like they are. I always say, if you really want to get a career, you should get a tech job.
Get a tech job. Look what Jabari said. We were coding and developing our MySpace pages, and we didn't even know that. It's true.
That is true.
Oh, you see, this is what I want to SQ. You know, certain banks you work at, you need to know XQL.
Facts.
Banks.
That's true.
Banks, like a person who work at a bank.
It's getting serious out here. That was say, if you from the old generation, you think everything gonna be simple. Nope. You better get into that tech. Like you better learn tech because it's gonna get really. It's gonna be really difficult as we continue to get older. It's gonna be different. This world's gonna be totally different.
Listen, I want to share a personal story with y'all. Sherry Bryan say my son graduated with 33 certifications through his high school. They're preparing these kids for the market as early as in high school. Now, Ronnie, you know where the Adapata Branch Library is at, right?
Yes, I do.
I don't know if you remember, there was a lady by the name of I'm just gonna tell you a story. There was a lady there who was the this was in the 80s now. This was early 80s, early 90s. There was a lady there who had became the librarian. So as things started to change, somebody and I want to just express the story. God bless the dead. She's been gone for quite some time. Roughly around in the 90s, the Miami-Dade library system had made some changes. They had required you to have a degree to become a librarian. You know, in the 80s, everything was a free-for-all. Somebody came who had a degree, had a master's, was a black guy, took her job, and they demoted her to a lower position. She committed suicide.
Wow. Wow.
So I remember this as a young kid, understanding this at an early age, that things change. We evolve. The way it was today is not going to be the way it is. Some things might get easier, some things might not. We're blessed in certain places. Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, the point is, do you want to put in the work, or do you want people to lay it out easy for you? And when people who do the work, you look at them and say, oh, it was easy for you, not knowing that how many nights you stayed up to write papers and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Listen, in the state of Florida, in the state of Texas, state of Louisiana, all you need is a bachelor's degree to become a teacher here. Just a bachelor's degree, and you take a test. In Boston, Massachusetts, in New York, you need a master's degree, and you have to take a complacency test to become a teacher. There's different requirements for different things, and that's what it is. And that's my take on that.
Yeah, and my take is, because I know Jordan's finna close it out. Pretty much, I think people got to wake up to the realization that this world is evolving and this world is changing. You see now affirmative action. You see that's gone. Now student loan is still here. So it's just to show you that you just got to be careful. And as an American people, we do have rights to change whatever needs to be changed. And I hope and I pray that the people will stand up and say, hey, I do want my student loan forgiveness because you guys promised me. You promised us that. And that's the only way it's going to end. I think the people got to hold Biden accountable for what he has done. That's my take.
And it also to me, make sure you know who you're voting for. Know who are you voting for, not just in federal, but in state and local. So they change these laws. If you want these laws to change, make sure you know who you're voting for, and people that you like. Make sure they speak of what they speak of, because Joe, he didn't speak of what he speak of. That's all I'm gonna say about that. That's my final take on that.
And of course, shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to everybody that was listening today. Shout out to everybody that's participating. I mean, from the Facebook, from the Instagram, of course, from YouTube, and also from Rumble. Shout out to the new subscribers. C Ruffin. Shout out to you. Go ahead,
I want to ask him, are you related to David Ruffin?
I was gonna say the same thing. I was gonna say the same thing. But of course, on you guys, make sure on your way out, please make sure you hit that like button. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button. And please make sure you hit that notification bell on the right-hand side. Remember, we do go all each and every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I repeat, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern time. And also, remember, go to KI Culture Radio Community tab. In the Community tab, there's you already know, KI Culture Radio t-shirt, what Jordan has on, and Prince Akeem New Book, Black Love, man. Y'all come over here and support the platform because we on our way to 1K subscribers. Whoo, I'm so excited about that. So, yeah, like always, guys, enjoy your 4th of July. Thank you for tuning in to KI Culture Radio. We are, what he said?
He said he's related. He said yes. He said, I'm from Meridian, Mississippi. He's related to David Ruffin.
I think that's cap.
No,
well, we'll see him on the next show. We'll see him Monday. If he come on Monday, we're going to ask him a question. Well, I think if he is, wow. But like always, guys, we over and out. Y'all enjoy your 4th of July weekend.
Enjoy your
Peace
4th
out.
of July.
Peace.
America.